Hello students, I am Sonali from City International School and today we are going to do the revision of the chapter Heredity and Evolution. So let's start with the revision. So let's start with the question number 1. The Mendelian experiment consisted of breeding tall pea plants bearing violet flowers with short pea plants bearing white flowers. The progeny all bore violet flowers, but almost half of them were short, right? So this suggested that the genetic makeup of the tall parents, we have to find out the genetic makeup of the tall parents can be depicted as, see, because in the generation progeny has short as well as tall plants, so definitely the condition is heterozygous. Tall and short, both the dominant and the recessive genes are present in the gametes. Regarding the violet flowers, because all the plants were bearing violet flowers, that means the dominant violet flower, that is homozygous dominant condition, is present in the gametes. So this should be the constituent of progeny. So here we can see, right, this one is present, heterozygous condition of tall gametes and homozygous condition of the gametes, homozygous condition of the genes which are present in the gametes responsible for the violet flower. So this is the correct answer for this question. Now coming to question number 2, if a normal cell of a human body contains 46 chromosomes, then the number of the chromosomes in the sex cells of a human beings is almost likely to be, okay, we know that the sex chromosome always have half the number of the chromosome. Why it is important? Because if I take an example of the sperm over here, if it has, let's take 46 chromosome, and ovum is also having 46 chromosome, but we know that there will be a fusion of sperm and ova, then the daughter cell will have 92 chromosome, okay. So and this number of chromosome will keep doubling after every generation. So ultimately the dinosaur will be formed, right, which is not possible. So what the nature has done, it has reduced the number of chromosome in the gametes. So sperm will have 23 number of chromosome, ovum will also have 23 number of chromosomes, so that the zygote will have ultimately 46 number of chromosome. So number of chromosome is retained always in the daughter cell. That is why human fetus look like human being and it doesn't look like anything else. Definitely. So the number of chromosome will be half, that is 23. We call it haploid. Okay. Let's read question number 3. A pregnant woman has an equal chance of her baby being blood group A or the blood group AB, right? Which one of the following shows the possible genotype of the woman and the father of her child? Okay, now let's see which one of the following shows a possible genotype. You have to find out the genotype of a mother and a father. On the basis of the result, that baby will have, can have equal chance of having a blood group A and blood group AB. Equal chance means the ratio can be 1:1. Okay, so this is the equal chance, right? So let's take the first one. Here AA and BO they have taken, so we will make two genes having AA group and the other two genes having BO group. We can consider one from the mother, other from the parents, right? So A and B. Okay, in this case the baby can have AB blood group. A will cross with O. Okay, first A will cross with B and then A will cross with O. Here A and O, that means baby can have a blood group A. Okay, here A and here AB. Fine. Now let us join this A with B. So here AB and this A with O, AO. What is the ratio of AB and AO? AB has come twice, so 2 is 2. AO has come twice, that is 2. We need to simplify it. We are getting 1:1. So equal ratio of A and AB. So first is the correct answer. Okay, you can try with the others also. You won't find the ratio as 1:1. Question number 4, a cross between a tall plant TT, that is homozygous tall, and the short plant, that is homozygous short, that is recessive, result in progeny that were all tall plants as. Okay, the tallness is the dominant trait, the shortness is the dominant trait, tallness is the recessive trait. It is not possible. Shortness is a dominant trait, that is also not possible because all the progeny were tall. So this shows that tallness is the dominant trait. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Tallness is the dominant trait. Now coming to the question number 5, which is the one characteristic of the parent that can be inherited by their children? Okay, deep scar on chin, no, that cannot be inherited because it has a scar on somatic cells which are not inherited. Snub nose means flat and broad nose, and this nose has a tip which is little upward. This is called snub nose. Flat, broad, and the tip which is little upward. So this type of snub nose. Technique of swimming, no, not at all. Technique of swimming will come only when you do a lot of practice. Cut nose, the nose can cut because of certain accidents, so the genes are not involved here. In this case, the genes are not involved. Even technique of swimming, genes are not involved. Deep scar on chin, genes are not involved. Snub nose, yes, the structure of nose, eyes, and the feature, definitely they are hereditary, inherited from the parents. Okay, so B is the correct answer. Now let's come to the question number 6, children. In peas, a pure tall plant TT is crossed with a pure short plant small t. This is homozygous dominant and this is homozygous recessive. The ratio of the pure tall plants to the pure short plants in F2 generation will be, we know that F2 generation, to get the F2 generation we have to self-pollinate the progeny of F1 generation, and F1 generation the gametes were capital T, small t, here also capital T, small t, right? So when I cross, I am getting capital T, right? And when I cross this T with this T, I am getting capital T, small t. This is heterozygous condition. Here also I am getting capital T, small t, that is heterozygous condition. Okay, and if I cross this T with this T, I am getting homozygous condition. This is pure tall plant, we can say, and here we can say pure short plant, right? And as you can see, the ratio is 1:1. So this is important. 1:1 is the ratio of the pure tall plant and the pure short plant, right? So this is for F2 generation. Okay, from F1 generation we got the gametes, and the gametes were capital T, small t, and capital T and small t. Okay, so these gametes we have taken in F2 generation, we self-pollinated them and we got the result of this, right? But according to the question, they have asked the ratio of the pure tall and the pure dwarf condition, right? Pure tall and condition and pure short conditions. So for the pure tall and pure short condition, just remember that the gametes has to be, the genes has to be same. Okay, either they have to be, both the genes are capital T, that is tall, or the small t, that stands for short. Okay. Now coming to the question number 7, the number of pairs of sex chromosomes in the zygote of a human being is. So pair of sex chromosome in the zygote of the human being, definitely there is only one pair of sex chromosomes, right? Because how many number of chromosomes we have? We have 23 pairs of chromosomes. How many pairs of chromosome we have? We have 23 pairs of chromosome. Out of 23, 22 pairs of chromosome are autosomes, AUTO, autosomes, and the last pair, okay, last pair is known as sex chromosome, right? Or you can say reproductive chromosome. So this is sex chromosome, right? And what is the genotype of sex chromosome? It can be either XX or it can be either X and Y. Clear? If I try to draw a diagram of this, okay, this chromosome stands for X, this again the other chromosome also stands for X, and here if I draw a diagram, this is X, right, and Y is a little bit detroited. It's a very small short, okay, so this is Y. So there is only one pair of chromosome in the zygote. Question number 8, a zygote which has X chromosome inherited from father will develop into. So we know that the father can have either in the sperm of father there can be X chromosome or there can be Y chromosome, or okay, or fine. So if the father, that is sperm, is having X chromosome and ova will have definitely X, because in female the two chromosome, as you can see here, they are X and X, okay, there is no Y chromosome in female. So all the ova of a female will carry only X chromosome, and if the father sperm which is carrying X chromosome fuses with the ova, definitely the child will be a girl child, okay. So first girl is the right answer. So let's come to the question number 9. If a round green seeded pea plant, that is capital R and small y stands for green color because green is recessive, okay, is crossed with the wrinkle yellow seeded pea plant. Wrinkle is a recessive here, so that we are going to write small r, and yellow is a dominant character, for that we are going to write capital Y. The seeds produced in F1 generation are. So we know that the seeds will be produced when I cross these plants. So whenever there is a cross pollination, the seeds are going to produce, right? So let's see how the seeds are produced. R and Y, small r, capital Y and capital Y, right? Now here if I take a gamete should have at least one gene for round and one gene for the color, that is green, okay. So gamete produce, in this case they will all have capital R and small y. Other gamete will also have capital R and small y. Done. And what about this? Here same thing, the R stands for the wrinkle character and capital Y stands for the yellow character, and all the gametes will have small r and capital Y, R for wrinkle and Y for yellow, right? And when we are going to cross, let's cross at least the first genes, first gametes. When I am going to cross these two gametes, okay, then what I am getting over here is capital R, small r. I am going to keep the genes responsible for the similar trait together, and capital Y and small y, right? And if you are going to cross with the other also, with this one also, you are getting the same result. Here also same result, and even the fourth one also the same result, right? So I am getting the seeds which are round and yellow, right? So round and yellow is the correct answer. Now question number 10. What does the progeny of tall plant, capital T and capital T, with a round seed, capital R and capital R, and a short plant with wrinkled seeds look like? Okay. So what does the progeny of tall plant with round seed? So tall plant with a round seed, that can be one one character, that is tall is dominant and round is dominant, and in the other short is recessive and wrinkle is also recessive, right? So the short and the wrinkle, that cannot be shown in the progeny. So you will find the result which will have all the tall with round seeds, because they both are, both the genes are homozygous, and they are dominant genes. So tall and round will, they are dominant, so you can see the progeny are all tall and having round seeds. Question number 11. A man with blood group A marries with a woman having a blood group O. What will be the blood group of a child? Only O? No, you can't say. Only A? No, you can't say. AB? Anyways, there is a very least possibility of AB. Equal chance of acquiring blood group A or blood group O. This is true. Okay, so this can happen. Coming to the question number 12, fill in the blanks. Chromosomes are thread-like structure in the nucleus of the cell formed of DNA that carries the genes. So this, the answer over here should be genes. Chromosomes are thread-like structure in the nucleus of the cell formed of DNA that carries the genes, right? So you have to write over here genes. Dash genes are those which decides the appearance of an organism only in the presence of another identical genes, right? So whenever there is identical genes, then only these genes can show their appearance. So see, if I write capital T and small t, and if I write capital T and capital T, in both the cases I can see even the even in the case of heterozygous condition, the tallness is that is a tall appearance is quite visible in the progeny, right? Whereas the recessive genes T won't be appear in the heterozygous condition because it is recessive. So the heterozygous condition, the recessive gene can only be can only show, okay, that can only be appeared in the progeny when the condition is a homozygous recessive condition, right? So here we can write here recessive genes are those which decides the appearance of organism only in the presence of another identical genes. Now coming to the next question, dash is the description of genes present in an organism's genotype. Genotype is the description of genes present in the organism. Genes always work in pair. We know about alleles, right? So that is why the genes always work in pair, because they are coming from their parents, one from the mother, one from the father, okay, which are present on the chromosomes. So definitely they always work in pairs. Question number 3, true and false. Human height is a trait which shows a variation. Yes, human height, it is a trait which can show variation. Yes, true. Variation decreases the chances of survival of an organism in the changing environment. It's absolutely false. In fact, variation supports the organisms to fight against the adverse condition in the environment, and it is very much supporting organism for its survival. Coming to questions and answer, these are the short answer type questions. What is a DNA? So we know that DNA is a deoxyribonucleic acid, right? It is responsible for carrying and transmitting the hereditary material. Okay. Now coming to monohybrid cross, this is the cross between the two individuals with one pair of contrasting character. And you can show here example, you can write the example, that is tallness and shortness. Okay. So for tallness and shortness, which genes you can take? Capital T, and for shortness small t, right? Now what is gene? Gene is a unit of hereditary or unit of inheritance. Gene is a part of chromosome which controls the appearance of a set of hereditary characters. Okay, so how the hereditary characters are going to appear in the progeny, that is all controlled by genes. Short answer type questions. These are the 3 marker questions. Explain the mechanism of sex determination in human beings. We have already explained this in the last session. I'll like to explain it again. So, or the question can be put in the other manner with the help of a flow chart. Explain in brief how the sex of a newborn is genetically determined in human beings, right? Which of the two parents, the mother or the father, is responsible for the determination of a sex child? Okay, so you have to show with the help of a flow chart. So in a case of a flow chart, first of all you have to draw the gametes, right? X, these are the gametes from the mother, and from father X and Y gametes are coming from father. And when you cross these gametes, right, the female child will have XX chromosome, right, and male child will have XY chromosome. There are 50-50% of chances of male and female child, right? So here you can say that because the male child has X and Y chromosome in it, and father sperm can either have X or Y chromosome on it. So Y chromosome is present only in the father's gamete, they are not present in mother gametes. So we can say that it is the father who is responsible for the sex of a child, not mother, because mother having gametes which are carrying only X and X chromosomes. Clear? So this is how you have to draw the flow chart, and the points are written over here. Question number 2. A blue color flower plant denoted by capital B. Capital B is crossed breed with that of white color flower plant denoted by, of course, small b and small b, right? First, what you have to do, state the color of the flowers you would expect in F1 generation. So again, you can draw the Punnett square, or you can just draw the cross wise. And if you draw the Punnett square, where you have to do the cross breed, okay. So you can take the capital B and capital B, small b and small b. You can draw Punnett square over here. So you just have to cross. You can keep one as a male here and other as a female, right? And you are crossing here. We are capital B, small b. This one is blue, okay? And capital B, small b. This one will also have blue color flowers. Then capital B, small b, and again capital B, small b. So state the color of the flowers. So you would expect in F1 generation, I can see all the colors, all the flowers having a color blue, right? So all flowers having a color blue. So here is the answer. The color of the flowers in F1 generation will be blue. And what must be the percentage of white flower plant in F2 generation if the flowers of F1 generation are self-pollinated? Okay, so you have to take the two gametes. So I'll take this gamete, and then I will self-pollinate them. So my gamete is B, capital B, small b. I have taken one from female, and capital B, small b, one from male, right? And I crossed them. You have to cross them, one from male, other from female. So what we are getting over here is, capital B. This is a homozygous dominant. That means this is blue in color, and over here capital B, small b, heterozygous, but B is dominant genes which is present in the progeny. So the color of the flower will be blue, here also blue, here also blue, here also blue. So the phenotype will be blue, blue, blue. And what about this? Small b, small b, small b, small b. This is the only flower which is white in color. Okay, and the rest of them are blue in color. Okay, all three of them are blue in color. UE blue, right? So percentage, here I want to tell you one thing. Whenever you draw a Punnett square, right, like this, so in this case every square means 25%, right? Every square stands for 25%. Just remember this. So what they have asked, what must be the percentage of white flower plant in F2 generation? We found that there is only one gamete which is having a small b, that is homozygous recessive condition, and there is only one flower. So what is the percentage? There is only one square, that means 25%. And state the expected ratio of the genotype of homozygous dominant and heterozygous B. You should be very careful when you read the question. They have asked the ratio of homozygous dominant, that is BB, and they have asked the ratio of this BB and the heterozygous condition, capital B small b and capital B small b. So this is 1:2. Okay, 1:2. Coming to the next question, if we cross pure breed tall dominant pea plant with pure breed dwarf recessive pea plant, we will get a pea plant of F1 generation. If we now self-cross the pea plant of F2 generation, then we will obtain pea plants of F2 generation. So we have been doing this since a long time. Now let's write answers for the questions. What do the plants of F1 generation look like? All plants of F1 generation, here you can see how do they look like. Plants of F1 generation, they look like, all are tall plants here, all are tall plants. Okay, all are tall plants, all 4 plants are tall. So here you can write down F1 generation, all are tall. State the ratio of the tall plants to dwarf plants in F2 generation. Ratio of the tall plants and the dwarf plant, that means they have asked the phenotype ratio. So 3 plants out of 4, 3 plants are tall and 1 plant is short. So 3:1 is the ratio. State the type of the plants not found in F1 generation but appeared in F2 generation. Short plant. Okay, in F2 generation we can find the short plant. Okay, 25% of the plants were short, but in F1 generation we couldn't find this. So this is how you have to write the answers. Coming to the long type question, a trait may be inherited but may not be expressed. Which is a trait which is inherited but cannot be expressed? Till now we have seen there are many traits. If I take an example of tall and short, so tall and short both are inherited, but short couldn't able to express itself when it is associated with the tall trait, right? And in case of round and wrinkle couldn't able to express itself, okay, when the capital R, that is a dominant genes, is present. And then we took an example of yellow and green. Okay, here we have seen that the recessive traits, okay, they keep going from one generation to another generation, but they couldn't express itself or express themselves unless and until they are paired with the same type of recessive genes, either RR, small t or small y. Okay, so let's see the answer. Mendel explained this through his monohybrid cross. He produced progeny from pure giraffe and pure tall plant of the P, and he found that F1 generation were all tall, right? Okay, because the condition was heterozygous. But when F1 generation, here we can see in F, uh, when the parents were pure tall and pure dwarf, we got the progeny having the heterozygous condition. Here the tall genes and the short genes is present, right? But the tall is the dominant, so all the progeny were tall. But when we self-fertilize them, what we got in the next generation, F2 generation, we came to know that there is still a plant which is short, and it can show the shortness in presence of the other plants only when when both the genes in the gametes are short. Okay, so here we can state, we can prove that a trait may be inherited but may not be expressed. The answer is given over here, children. You can copy the answer, and the chart also very important to draw because this is a 5-mark answer. You just can't do the explanation. In 5 marks questions and even in the 3-marker questions, if possible, you have to draw diagram and explain the answers. Now this is all about today's topic, children. Thank you so much.